Hi, and welcome to Discover Oklahoma. I'm Lauren Nelson.
And I'm Dean O'Lally. Today we're coming to you from the Sam Noble, Oklahoma Museum of Natural History in Norman. And no, that's not my stomach you hear growling.
No, it's not. We're standing in the new Permian Monsters exhibit. This incredible museum is back open after taking a break at the start of the COVID pandemic. Sam Noble is a family-friendly adventure featuring 4 billion years of Oklahoma history, including the world's largest dinosaur. There are plenty of hands-on exhibits to discover too. We'll show you around throughout the show. But first, we start out at another outstanding museum, this one in northeastern Oklahoma.
Come along with me now to check out the Cherokee National History Museum in Tahlequah.
History is so much more than studying the past. It's about the many elements that make up life. It's also about connecting with the present and looking to the future. You get that and so much more at the Cherokee National History Museum, which is housed in a historic site.
Our museum is actually set in our 1869 Cherokee National Capitol building. This is the only museum where you're going to get the full story of Cherokee Nation from time immemorial all the way to present day. It's a full-scale look at our Cherokee Nation history with highlights introduced through Cherokee art, through artifacts, and through multimedia presentations.
Technology enhances the experience of the museum because you can check out an iPad upon arrival and interact with some of the objects on display and the exhibits.
So visitors can come and check out one of our iPads and get a full-scale virtual tour guide that will enhance their experience.
Currently on the first floor, there's an exhibit of one of the great Cherokee artists, Cecil Dick, and it tells his story through art. Then on the second floor, they begin with one of the tribe's origin stories and move through Cherokee history.
So we have objects on display from our early era history, including pottery, baskets, moccasins, even a fish trap. There's actually a bag on display that was commissioned and produced by Cherokee Nation artists that was gifted to Andrew Jackson even before the Indian Removal Act.
The second floor is an excellent place to use the iPad for that enhanced experience, one of which has to do with one of the many chapters of time significant to the Cherokee Nation.
And with our iPad, you can actually scan one of our symbols in there and put yourself in a 1700s council house. It's actually at the Cherokee Heritage Center, but you can put yourself and look all around through the ceiling down to the fire itself.
It feels like you are there.
It was actually really cool because I like just to see it, and then you got to spin around and see everything.
One of the many impressive elements of this museum is how the Trail of Tears story is told.
Rather than doing visual pictures of people marching and being rounded up, we told the story through the voices of the people who experienced it. And so we really tried to let those voices illustrate the story rather than people's preconceived notions.
You can see notable displays such as the one honoring the first female chief of a tribal nation, Wilma Mankiller. The suit she was wearing when she met President Reagan can be seen.
Well, this museum is a wonderful opportunity for school-aged children and adults alike. There's many different historical items here, current items here, and it's just a terrific atmosphere to walk around in.
They could learn a lot. There's a lot of different things you could learn around just walking around and watching them videos. And you could learn about your culture, and I just thought it was fun.
To tour this museum is fun, but more importantly, it's about learning and studying the past, but engaging with the present and the future.
What we hope visitors learn when they leave here is that Cherokee Nation is not one people in one place of time. We are people that have a vibrant history. We have a tough history. We have suffered many tragedies, but we also have overcome and prospered and excel. And today we're a vibrant tribe with more than 300,000 members, with major economic impacts within the state of Oklahoma.
The Cherokee National History Museum is located at 101 South Muskogee Avenue in Tahlequah. They're open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., closed Sunday and Monday.
Spending time in a museum is a great way to relax and just sort of lose yourself exploring history.
And right here in Norman, there's another great place where you can relax and spend the night. Quinn Tran takes us to the Montford Inn.
It has a soul. It has a life of its own. I think an inn should have a sense of person and a sense of place.
Built in 1994, the Montford Inn serves as a bed and breakfast in Norman, Oklahoma. The charm of the house makes visitors feel right at home.
People today are very hungry for an experience and for somebody that cares, some service that is meaningful.
Phyllis Murray and her son William own and operate the Montford Inn. It's a beautiful bed and breakfast that offers 9 private rooms in the inn. The rooms have their own bathrooms and closet space. The family's Oklahoma roots and Native American heritage are reflected in some of the decor. Cozy cottages are also available for a couple's getaway or family retreat.
All our cottages have 2-person whirlpool bathtubs and separate walk-in showers and big king-size beds. And I kind of look at it like you go to a restaurant and you have a menu, meaning you have lots of choices.
The inn provides all the comforts of home, modern conveniences like free Wi-Fi, and of course, included in the stay is breakfast.
This morning I served blue corn buttermilk pancakes made with blue cornmeal and whole wheat flour, side of fresh fruit. We always have our Tahlequah smoothie. And it is blended. But I tell people all the time when they're trying to help themselves to coffee, I said, oh, let me get that, it'll taste better that way. And they look at me like, what are you talking about? No, I promise you, when you're being served, it always seems to taste better. And so even if it's a cup of coffee that I'm helping pour, it seems to taste better. And it's kind of like a little magic fairy dust that we do and like to take care of our guests and help them feel special.
The Montford Inn is located in a quaint and quiet neighborhood. It's within walking distance of downtown Norman and the University of Oklahoma. People from near and far have stayed here, including movie stars, dignitaries, and world leaders.
We send a lot of people up to Oklahoma City too because of cultural and whether it's art or historic places of interest, whether it's the Myriad Gardens, Cowboy Hall of Fame, National Bombing Memorial. There's a rich history here.
This family-owned bed and breakfast has made a name for itself over the years, known best for the warmth, comfort, and Oklahoma hospitality.
Our guests mean a great deal to us. Each person that walks through our door is welcomed and is cared for. That's what we do, we care for people.
In Norman, Oklahoma, Quintran, Discover Oklahoma.
The Montford Inn is in the heart of Norman at 322 West Tahlequah. You can take a look at all the rooms and book your stay at montfordinn.com.
Coming up on Discover Oklahoma.
I think they're so special because they're an art form.
From family traditions to newly found hobbies, see why quilting is popular again.
It's usually the first reaction when they walk in. They're walking and they're like, wow, I didn't even know this was here.
Plus, we've discovered another family-owned shop where you will want to stop.
Well, if anybody wants to go on a road trip and eat good barbecue, this is the place.
And we're in Skiatook for some amazing barbecue. It's all coming up right here on Discover Oklahoma.
Start your next journey with the Travel OK Trip Planner. First, choose an itinerary or build your own. Share travel plans with friends and let the adventure begin. The Travel OK Trip Planner. Download the app today.
Welcome back to Discover Oklahoma, coming to you from the Sam Noble Oklahoma Museum of Natural History in Norman. So much to discover here, and a great place to take your kids for a do-it-yourself science or history class. More people are spending time closer to home these days, so that means lots of folks are taking up new hobbies.
And one of those might be quilting. Right now, Jason Grubbs is going to show us what's catching on at the Log Cabin Quilt Shop in Bixby.
My first project was when I was 10 years old, and I went down to Texas to visit my grandmother and came back in a week with a finished quilt.
Terry LaFin still has that quilt, and she's been making these beautiful works of art ever since.
I think they're so special because they're an art form, and there's something that is a wonderful gift of love to give another person. And they survive over 100 years.
Terry now shares her knowledge with customers at the Log Cabin Quilt Shop in Bixby.
It's as much fun to work here as it is to come in.
There are hundreds of fabrics to choose from. You'll find every color under the sun, upstairs and down. There are themes for the Patriot and for fans of any Oklahoma college team. You can also pick up all the stuff you need to get started.
Well, it's definitely one of the places to go in Oklahoma if you're a quilter. And we get new things in every week, so it's like Christmas year-round.
If you've never quilted before, that's okay. They've got kits all over the store, like this one here called Roaming Oklahoma, and you can see it back there on the wall.
We have lots and lots of patterns available, and all of our staff are quilters and love to offer their advice or expertise when asked.
The log cabin was built by owner Diana LeClaire, who definitely knows her stuff. She's somewhat of a quilting rock star.
She's absolutely a rock star in quilting. In fact, she's had national coverage of her quilts.
Her work has even been featured in a past issue of Better Homes and Gardens. Through the store, Diana is able to pass on her talent to any quilter, no matter their experience.
We serve all levels of customers, from the very first I'm thinking about trying quilting to the people that have been quilting for 30, 40 plus years. And then we learn new things every day from the people that come in the store that have a great deal of experience.
Sometimes it's help picking out colors for an upcoming project. Other times, it involves repairs to old family heirlooms.
You know, and it's really fun to see historical quilts come in when people maybe need a little repair work, and to see what they used. They used their clothes, they used all kinds of different, anything that was fabric could end up in a quilt.
And for those quilts out there that have seen better days,
you see the love in the quilt when you see the wear. So you see some repairs in there, that means it was well loved and well used.
generation after generation, quilting is very much a tradition that continues on for many.
I get just as excited about my friends that are in their 80s plus coming in talking about the new things they're doing as I do seeing a little girl helping pick out fabric for her first quilt.
At the Log Cabin Quilt Shop in Bixby, I'm Jason Grubbs for Discover Oklahoma.
The Log Cabin Quilt Shop is at 14803 East 171st Street in Bixby. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, closed on Sunday and Monday.
Not too far from that spot is another one worth checking out if you're in a shopping mood.
Right now, Julie Chin takes us to the Roseanne Adoring Boutique in Sand Springs.
If you're looking to shop local, consider Sand Springs. All along Main Street, there are several family-run businesses to explore, like Roseanne Adoring.
It's usually the first reaction when they walk in. They're walking and they're like, wow, I didn't even know this was here.
Roseanne Adoring is a small boutique that's big on surprises. That includes the surprise connection of its owners.
We were friends first. We worked together, and then we found out that we were related, that we were cousins.
Together, these cousins combine their fashion sense and middle names to create Roseanne Adoring.
I had a dream about the name, that we were going to use our middle names so that we could make it personal because it is our business. And I just, in my dream, it was on the window, Roseanne Adoring.
This boutique sells a variety of on-trend clothes and accessories, everything from jewelry to jeans.
But I like that I can come in here and find something that's a little bit different than what you might find at any other store, and you know, mix that and match that with other things, and yeah, just unique.
Like these fun graphic tees that fly off the shelves.
A lot of people come in for our graphic tees. That's something that we really try hard to have a good selection of.
These locally made Okie hats are hot too. The store stocks at least a dozen different styles.
People come in from all over to get the hats. Mainly when they're out at the lake, a lot of people see them wearing them at the lake, and so they're like, hey, we heard you have these hats, and so they come in and grab one.
There's a lot to look through in this little boutique, and they get fresh new items in all the time.
It works because I feel like we have pretty much everything for everybody.
It's a good mixture, just different styles.
Roseanne Adoring. When you stop in this Oklahoma business run by cousins, you'll be treated like family.
They are super fun. They always make the experience enjoyable, and I come away laughing. this is definitely my favorite place to shop.
In Sand Springs, I'm Julie Chin, discovering Oklahoma.
Roseanne Adoring Boutique is located at 111 North Main Street in Sand Springs.
Coming up on Discover Oklahoma.
We're thrilled to have a collection that encompasses some of the most well-known Native artists of their time.
The treasures of the tribe see the artwork cherished by so many coming up.
Max is iconic to Skiatook. You know, people travel from all over Oklahoma just to come to see Max Barbecue.
Plus, mouth-watering barbecue that's worth the drive when Discover Oklahoma continues.
Want to discover even more about the show? Go online and watch Discover Oklahoma anywhere, anytime. Catch up on missed episodes, track down interesting locations, and submit your own story ideas. Start exploring today at discoveroklahomatv.com.
Welcome back to Discover Oklahoma and the Sam Noble Oklahoma Museum of Natural History in Norman. They've safely reopened and invite you to plan your visit.
This is just one of dozens of museums across our great state that would love to have you visit this year.
And if you head north from here along I-35, you'll eventually hit Ponca City. And I definitely recommend a stop at Standing Bear Museum and Education Center. As you drive along Highway 60 in Ponca City, you can see the towering statue of Standing Bear. And if you turn off of the highway, you'll find even more at the Standing Bear Park, Museum, and Education Center.
They're going to experience an outdoor interpretive center if they're out in the park, in addition to a 22-foot bronze statue. And then inside in the museum, there are exhibits that represent the 6 area tribes.
When you enter the museum, you'll be immersed in Oklahoma's Native American history, specifically the 6 area tribes.
The rotunda has display cases for each of the 6 area tribes. They have decided what they want in those display cases, so they're very different. And then also in the rotunda is an unusual collection of artwork, and those are the tribal seals that have been done in bronze, and they have a 3rd dimension to them that we don't typically see when we see those seals.
Off of the rotunda, you will find an art gallery full of pieces by some of the most famous Native American artists, many of them from Oklahoma.
In the art gallery, we have a collection of paintings that starts with ledger-style art, comes right on around to contemporary artists working today.
Another gallery hosts traveling and permanent exhibits, and there's also an education room where classes and conferences are hosted. You can also book the room for your special event.
In the education room, there's a collection of paintings that tells the story of the trial of Standing Bear. And these are the paintings that were done by Mike Wimmer when former Governor Frank Keating wrote his book, The Trial of Standing Bear. And so we have the original paintings here.
After you peruse the gallery, be sure to take a stroll through the walking trails to learn more about each area tribe.
Each of those same 6 tribes who are represented in the rotunda are represented on that walking trail. They each have a viewing court, and they can tell pieces of their story there.
Rich in history and Native American heritage, the Standing Bear Park, Museum, and Education Center hopes to leave a legacy with those who visit.
Our mission is about education. There are a lot of differences between not just the tribes, but between the native culture and the non-native culture. And it's never our intent to make all of those seem the same, but to offer the opportunity for people to not only learn about, but to enjoy those things that are different about us. And if we can learn to enjoy those differences, then we've made a big step toward bridging that gap between the cultures.
Standing Bear Museum and Education Center is open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. during the week and 10 a.m. to 2 on Saturday.
Up next on Discover Oklahoma.
I want you to be full, I want you to be happy, I want you to feel like it was a good time to be here.
The must-stop spot if you're in search of great barbecue when Discover Oklahoma continues.
The Oklahoma Travel Guide's got a fresh new look. It's your one-stop shop for awe-inspiring attractions, iconic Route 66, stunning escapes, and legendary local food. Get your free copy today.
We've really enjoyed our time here today at the Sam Noble Oklahoma Museum of Natural History in Norman.
And as we head home, you know that food will be in our immediate future. So right now, Jason Grubbs is going to tell us all about Max Barbecue in Skiatook.
Well, if anybody wants to go on a road trip and eat good barbecue, this is the place.
It's the best barbecue in America.
And that is exactly why Discover Oklahoma stopped in to Max Barbecue in Skiatook.
Max is iconic to Skiatook. You know, people travel from all over Oklahoma just to come to see Max Barbecue, and Skiatook's known for Max Barbecue.
There's a good chance you'll see Jerry Brown in here. He's a regular.
I come in here at least 3 or 4 times a week.
He's tried everything on the menu, from ribs to brisket, and Mac's famous barbecue Frito pies.
If you're not familiar with it, you might think barbecue on a Frito pie, but it's outstanding.
We'll get back to that Frito pie in just a bit. But first, meet owner Adam Green.
It's the greatest job in the world. Like, I can't believe that I get to do this for a living.
Adam loves the barbecue business so much, he's got some permanent art to prove it.
I love ribs. I love cooking ribs. I love eating ribs. It's my favorite thing to do.
Adam and his wife took over the restaurant from his father-in-law, Mac, a few years ago. Mac's originally opened in 1985. The location and owners have changed over the years, but not the food. It's all the same great taste.
The quality is the most important thing to us. You know, you can't just buy any old brisket. You can't just buy anything and put it out there. Like, the consistency of it all is what makes it what it is. It's why we haven't changed anything since 1985.
These old hickory smokers are fired up at 3 o'clock in the morning. They use pecan wood, and as you can see, there's racks of them around here ready to go. There's also a special secret rub that's placed on all the meat.
Our rub is made here by us, and we make it every week, and there's only about 5 ingredients to it. There's not a whole lot to it. It's a really simple rub.
Go with the classic like chopped brisket or ribs.
Just full, good, rich flavor. It really doesn't need sauce if you don't want to be a sauce. It's got the good smoky flavor to it.
Or try one of Mac's famous Okies. It's kind of like a Philly cheesesteak, but in a category of its own.
That's just our chopped brisket with a homemade cheese sauce, put in a bun with sauteed peppers and onions.
All meat and cheese goodness right there.
It's awesome.
Order up a messy pig of pulled pork, slaw, and barbecue sauce on a Philly bun. There's also a Mac on the menu.
Hot link, piece of bologna, and chopped beef.
And of course, let's get back to that barbecue Frito pie.
Our Fritos are chopped brisket, sauce, beans, peppers, onions, and cheese in a big food tray.
It is a busy day of cooking around here. Max will go through 500 to 600 pounds of brisket a day.
Pork will probably do 180 pounds a day.
An average of about 80 slabs of ribs, 4 whole turkeys, 60 chicken legs, along with a lot of sausage, hot links, and bologna.
Lots of bologna. Everybody loves bologna.
You'll leave full, but if you've got room for dessert, have some of Mac's bread pudding with butter rum sauce.
I want you to be full. I want you to be happy. I want you to feel like it was a good time to be here.
It's well worth it. It's fantastic, and I'm coming back and I'm recommending.
At Max Barbecue in Skiatook.
Number 7, your order's ready. Half-rib dinner.
I'm Jason Grubbs for Discover Oklahoma.
Thanks, sir. No problem, Fred. Enjoy.
You'll find Max at 1030 West Rogers in Skiatook. They're open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, closed on Sunday and Monday.
And no matter where your next road trip takes you, the Discover Oklahoma Dining Guide will help you find a great place to eat. All you have to do is just log on to our website, that's travelok.com, and click Request Free Brochures to get your copy.
A huge thank you to everyone here at the Sam Noble Oklahoma Museum of Natural History for hosting us this week. We encourage you to plan your visit today. For the very latest information on how things are operating under COVID, you'll want to check out their website, samnoblemuseum.ou.edu.
And coming up next Saturday on Discover Oklahoma, get your kicks on Route 66. We head out on the Mother Road and hit up one of its most eclectic shops.
Plus, we can't say it enough. Eat local and support Oklahoma restaurants like this one. We'll take you to Ike's famous plate lunch in Tulsa for some of that comfort food we all crave. It's all coming up next week right here on Discover Oklahoma.
So until next time, remember,
there's always something to discover in Oklahoma.